left our dear friend, the bloated corpse, a-dangling in the tree for a night of much-needed rest in my disheveled, I don't know, couch? I'd like to think this is a bed, but from the looks of it, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a bed before I destroyed it in a drunken rage. It is day 2, 7:32 in the morning. There's no way to know, like, what day it is, I wonder? Like Monday. Is that a possibility? If I look very deeply at my stained shirt, can I figure out what day it is? Must not matter. Interestingly, it seems that time spent sleeping does not contribute to your thought cabinet, which does make sense, as I was unconscious and not doing very much thinking at all. So, shall we collect our dear partner, Lieutenant Kim? It forgot who I was for a second and sent me back to the sign-in screen, but I'm sure everything is fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh God, I'm so deeply worried, secretly. It's fine. Oh, Lieutenant Kim, wake up call. I've made you bakey. He's not much one for the early mornings, that's fine. Perhaps he's already downstairs enjoying the continental breakfast. There does not seem to be anything else I can collect here, though that may change as time goes on. For now, I will press forward. Oh, the side room is open. Folks have shuffled around a bit, and Kim is indeed already downstairs. Having just a hell of a time, it seems. Good morning, my love, my own.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod. How did you sleep? In what position did you sleep? What state of dress? Tell me everything, Kim.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
He points to the mess hall doors. I don't know if I want to talk to them if they're rowdy. What do you mean by that?
I mean ungovernable.
Oh, that's
Martinez
fine.
isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCA being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here.
Not much one for our authority, then. That's fair. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm much one for our authority yet, considering my track record. But yeah, let's go speak to them.
Men who drink beer for breakfast? There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for state policing. I think it's them.
More like the Hardly Boys, am I right? I don't know what I mean by that. Why do we need to talk to them, in your estimation, Kim?
Everything points to the dock workers' union. The belt used for hanging him. The circumstances in Martinez. My preliminary information.
Oh, hello. Howdy indeed. So nice to see you there. Happy holidays, if you happen to be celebrating. And if you are, let's say, locked, alone, in your meager 600 square foot apartment with the lingering smell of morning microwave bacon and no one in the world that loves you, a happy regular day. Non-specific. I don't know who I could be referencing there.
Which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
It's not going to be easy because they're so rowdy, these Hardly Boys. Are these men Gart told us about yesterday? Are these the men, indeed, that Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said.
Do you want to tell me about your dreams? About your tossy-turnies? If it would help, tomorrow night I could gently massage you to sleep with a lullaby.
One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
All right, I have completed a task. I can't quite tell if that's maybe the first time. We may have completed one or two other tasks, but hooray, progress. There are so many of them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements for these muscular boys.
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Okay, we're on our own.
In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
Good to know. No systematic protections for us. In the rare case that they might beat us to death in the livers. Let's roll, baby.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. I like to have my options open.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first.
Let them know that I've walked right past. Good thinking, Authority.
But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, as a detective, it's kind of my job to be curious about it. But the power move, it's titillating.
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Kim, you are such a sweetheart. Thank you for coming with me on this adventure. Alright, let's give it a quick save, just in case. In case we get muscularly liver pummeled by the Hardley boys. Good morning, manager. I don't know why I'm still shining my flashlight in everyone's eyes, but Okay, fine. I'll take it off. I'll take it off. Boop. There. Now I just have my plastic bag. A power move unto itself. Hi, manager.
Can I help you?
I don't know. Can you? So it's 20 real for tomorrow evening. If I'm remembering correctly, I have $1.05 remaining before I can pay my bill for tonight, and we're probably going to need this money during the day to buy sunglasses, so I just really have to hope we find an Andrew Jackson tucked into a corpse's butt cheeks. I don't need a drink. I'm fine for now. Thank you. Thank you, guard. Honestly, being home alone actually sounds preferable to seeing my family later. At least then I could play games and not navigate all this social bullshit. That sounds fair enough. I'm sorry to flaunt it. To flaunt my lingering smell of microwave bacon before you. Good morning.
Just a moment.
Yes? The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager. My apologies for interrupting, Lena.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
So, I'm guessing you have a phone, and you're refusing to let Lena use it? What if I was to threaten you with physical violence? Would that change matters?
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
And you, Lena. Good day. Everything all right? Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you? Perhaps a gentle cheek smooch? That didn't sound very gentle. I'm sorry, Lena. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. But I'm also glad I did. Anything I can do?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
Is there a reason for that in the wider picture? Did the killer snip the phone lines so that the corpse could not be called in as quickly? Given the fact that I've spent 8 days now letting it dangle from the tree, it doesn't really seem like that would have been a concern.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead, too.
What's wrong with the phone line? Am I asking this of Gart?
The manager was vague about it.
Let's ask this of Gart.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
I certainly will. So why, my love, my own, my dearest sweetums, did you need to use the phone?
to let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Tell me, did either of your friends, tromp around in ceramic boots? Because if so, I have some bad news. I'm sure it's completely unrelated.
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
I don't know that I do. She glances out the window toward the bay.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
What is this expedition your husband was on? Did he wear safari clothes? Did they accentuate his backside?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
So they'd be back on Monday. Was that yesterday? Or is Monday the day before? Having amnesia leads to so many troubling conundrums. Like not knowing what day of the week it is. Hey, Kim, what day of the week it is? So who's this Gary person? Do you trust him?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that.
She smiles. Lingering, pleasant memories of Gary fill her neurons.
Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
Are they in a rough neighborhood? I'm assuming by the asterisks that he's whispering it. You mentioned traps. Could there be some problem with them? Or maybe your husband went off on an adventure. Are they in a rough neighborhood? I don't know if that's the kind of place you'd find a rare insect, but it's worth asking.
There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
Fishing village-related crime, no doubt.
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
I'm sure they can get into a scrape. Bit of the fisticuffs, if necessary.
Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
I am curious. You're right, Inland Empire.
Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
Why, this sounds like police business. I'll help you find your husband. More important than it being police business, I care deeply for Lena, and I will help her in any way possible to feel comfortable and safe, preferably in the arms of her dear husband.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let those Hardley boys know. You're not even important enough. I'm gonna go find a bug. Yeah, that's how I rate you in my priorities. It's just a little side thing. We'll do it down the line. I've already given my word. I am honor-bound to uphold it. I've got a premonition that this missing scientist is connected to our main case. I would love for that to be true, so that I could use it as an excuse. I think it would be good to take a break from the hanged man for a little while. Oh, hey, it's just police work. Just innocent men. What kind of detective do I want to be? This seems dismissive. No, thank you. I would like to be honor-bound. That's a nice trait. To have given my word and to uphold it, but it also seems a little bit... Oh, look at me, I'm honor-bound. I've got a premonition. That leads us into some dark, supernatural territory that I really appreciate. And I would love for it to be connected to the case. I'm gonna go here. I've got a premonition.
I sincerely doubt it. Still, I suppose it won't hurt to keep an eye out.
I hope nobody plucks one of our eyes out, but you're right, Kim. You're right.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
So your husband was some kind of, I mean, is definitely alive and well, and is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
Tell me, has he laid his delicate fingertips upon the pectorals of Bigfoot?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed, for he has not laid his delicate fingertips upon the pectorals of Bigfoot, and it shows. Hello, hello, so nice to see you. Thank you for the subscription. My goodness, 46 months. I owe you a cake. Any kind. And I'll bake it while wearing a very expansive apron, but little else, if that's okay. Happy holidays indeed. Nice to see you there.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
Aw. You've belittled her husband's line of work, Lieutenant Kim. We must work on your bedside manner. We must work on your bedside manner. Sorry, I was distracted, thinking about tonight.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious.
Which, to be honest, sounds like exactly the sort of animals we should be soaking research efforts into, but go on, Kim. Continue to belittle her quote-unquote hobby.
Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Oh, that's nice of her. Tell me more about moral, looks, character, your relationship. Tell me more about this rare insect. Or maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. +1 has the green ape pen. Is that something I've collected? Do I has the green ape pen? Tell me about your husband.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
Does he have a mustache? Start with the stash.
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
Whoa, TMI. Do continue.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
We're looking for Christopher Lloyd. Got it.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
Thanks, Kim. Aw, it's sweet of him to take this seriously, even though he didn't really want to get involved.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case.
How long have you been married? I'm going to pry into your personal details.
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
Aw, 16 sounds like a lovely number. It's very satisfying to me. And how did the two of you meet? Tell me, was there passion right from the get-go?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She smiles wistfully.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I'm sure I will. When I torture her husband for information. Wait, that got to some dark territory.
I hope I've been useful.
All right, and tell me about this rare insect. This cryptid, if you will.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
That's my favorite. Entomological minutia is my absolute favorite.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Come on, we really need to go do our jobs. Come on, I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
Technically, bud.
Ah yes, Phasmatodia, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Spooky.
Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Quiet down there, Inland Empire. We'll get to the supernatural. I'm trying to feed you.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast, hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully. Nothing would look better on my resume.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
You know what you signed on for, Kim.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
Classically reliable source, these randy teens. I take it as fact.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Does it have any cool powers? Well, yeah, it can disguise itself as a reed. That's sick as does it, though?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
Is it dangerous? Venomous? Perhaps just gaseous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
All right. What's so special about this stick bug, then? Well, she's told you several things about it that are special, but sure, we'll move on.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
Embarrassed Lena, and I'll never forgive myself. Apparently that's the punishment I get for embarrassing Lena. Though I'm sorry we all had to suffer it. What in the hell was that? Silly headset. Alright,
Morel
continue.
can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Alright, so this is based on my power of suggestion. I do have one bonus to it. I wonder if I have any clothing items that raise suggestion. Until then, that's all for now. 58% isn't terrible odds, but it's not great. Not great at all. I've also used the entire first half hour of my day to discuss a stick insect, which Kim will likely balk at, but I've been fascinated. So, suggestion. Don't really think I've got anything related. Let me see if I'm working with any negatives. -1 to suggestion because of my unsavory odor. So I could return to Lena shirtless and have some better chances. That sounds hot. I'm also going to be more dramatic. Shirtless and more dramatic than ever before. Alright, we quick save it here.
Oh,
I need more
hello,
information
dear.
from you, Lena.
I didn't notice you
So I
at
just
first.
missed you. 72%. Hot damn, what a difference a mesh t-shirt makes.
Sometimes the most charming thing you can do is be reasonable in your requests.
Could you tell me about just one more interesting cryptid? The Insulindian phasmid was great, don't get me
I
wrong.
suppose you could use a break, and I could use a distraction.
One cryptid, Like you said, one. This can't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. We have things to do.
I get your point, Kim, but just the very phrase cryptid extravaganza tickles me with delight, so I don't see why we can't turn it into that. Okay, just one little cryptid or cryptid extravaganza. I like the sound of that. I have to.
And
have
I
to.
don't. Just one.
Fair enough. We are partners. I will
Or
compromise.
he'll be disappointed in you.
I can't have
Ooh.
that.
Tough choice there.
Okay. Only one. I do have a pen. Oh, yes, it's the pen she gave me, of course. Is that a cryptid on this pen you gave me? Are there any invisible cryptids? Dangerous, tiniest, biggest. I mean, we got the pen. Let's go off of the pen. It's a seed for our knowledge.
Yes. It's the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
Go
Yes,
on.
it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Aw, he's drooling on me, and I feel better. There was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man. Wow, with its saliva? I can't wait to mac
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
Someone's chopping onions extremely quickly in the apartment next to me, and it sounds like a small machine gun piloted by a ferret. And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man.
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus.
Can one pilot a machine gun? Is that doesn't
Which is
sound
to
right.
say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
I knew it, Kim. You're a kind green ape. Kiss me. Kiss me, you fool. I'm pretty sure Kim is the same species as us, and to suggest otherwise is pretty ignorant. That's why I always have to take the lead, right, Kim? No. I'm pretty sure Kim and us, due to the general human nature, are the same
The
species.
lieutenant looks at you, pleasantly surprised.
Aw, I'm sad that it's a pleasant surprise I'm not racist, but thank you, Kim.
No, I didn't mean to imply that Saolites are inferior to us in many ways. You are superior. For example, your earwax doesn't have a foul odor like ours does.
Whose earwax have you been smelling? What? How do you know this, Lena?
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today?
I'm sure we have. I will honor my word to Kim, though these are all fascinating. Thank you for telling me about the kind green ape. He sounds adorable. This has been educational. Sadly, we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
All right. That's all for now. I guess if, Kim goes to bed and Lena is still up one night, I could sneak back down and ask her about other cryptids. That's all for now. Thank you. Merry Christmas indeed. Nice to see you there. Welcome, welcome. All right. Quick save it again. That only took 6 minutes out of our investigative time. All for the best, I'm sure. Cook has returned to the kitchen. The tomatoes are so thinly sliced you can see through them.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook.
Look closer. Does his mug seem to have racist overtones? I'm very
As you
curious.
step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garansi and Quebec.
Kim, do you have a dictionary of different local languages on you? I'd like to know if he just complimented me. I'm sure he did. Based on the state of me and my appearance, I'm sure it was a compliment.
Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Garancy Quebec. Please. It's not funny.
I'll listen to you here, Logic. I'll listen to you. Hello, sir. Do you have time for a few questions? About how thinly sliced these
The
tomatoes
man
are.
puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Gorgeous interpretive dance, but back to my questions. You've got some impressive pots there. Wow. It's very forward of me to say. Do you know what's behind that door? Point to the
He
blue
looks
door.
up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself.
I think he does. I believe in my bone marrow that he does. Search him for the key. Pat him down. Make him spread them.
Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Oh, okay. I won't make him spread them then. You got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Aw, we're bonding.
It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Why would I phrase it this way? I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Why? We've just met. What a weird thing to say to a stranger. Alright,
You
we'll
see
tap
a
the
heavy
door.
steel door
of
with
mystery.
a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
I still think that's the cutest lock I've ever seen. Moving on. No key in my possession for it. Gardener, nice to see you in here. Staying warm, I hope.
Let me handle this.
Elizabeth? I didn't know we knew the gardener's name. Hi, Elizabeth. The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you. Oh, you're with the Hardley boys, are you? Interesting.
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where
That's
you are?
me.
This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
Interesting. But they left her out there like a delicious breadcrumb to pick up information on me ahead of the forthcoming union negotiations, and I have not made a good first impression. That will
Her
continue.
entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
I knew you weren't a gardener. No gardener could be this cold. You'd kill all the plants. I just wanted to know more about the place before I check it out. That's normal, right? I was just playing dumb. That's part of my detective process. You're the gardener. I mean, this is probably where I am mentally. Hey, what? What's happening here? I thought you were the... Hey!
No, I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
And yet you had an ampule of ammonia on your person. Interesting.
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does.
Looking for Titus? Hardly. She points to the man on her
That's
right.
Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
Okay. I'm not here to cause trouble. Just at one look at the boss man there, I can already tell he's a real Titus.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
We will, if we have
She
to.
says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What is your role in all of this? Legal counseling, I'm gonna assume? What if I want to talk to you and not Titus? What are you going to do to me? You gonna trowel me up? You gonna fertilize me down? Why are you so aggressive? I should talk to Titus. Anything I can learn from her that would give me not so much an upper hand, but like crawling out of the pit I'm in currently, would be good. But I have a feeling no matter what I ask, she's going to get the upper hand. So, What is your role in all of this? Seems fairly
Like I
innocuous.
already told you, I'm a legal counselor.
Legal counseling,
Do
sure.
you have hearing problems?
A little bit. You gonna make fun of me for that? Doesn't seem very understanding of you. What are you gonna do to me? I don't know what he means by that exactly. What if I want to talk to you and not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
That's fair. It's a new day, and there's a new sheriff in town. I guess I'll go talk to Titus then. Thank you for your time. Appreciate ya. Alright. So, we have to choose. Are we power moving it? Going to look for the Insulindian phasmid? Or are we speaking with the Hardley boys? You there. You with these boys? It's all about money, you know. Oof. Tell me about it. I really want to pick up this bottle. Why can I not pick up this bottle for money? It's the only way I make money as a registered detective. What's this? It's a bowl. There is spit in it. It reeks of tobacco. Well, if you can't beat 'em. You see hawthorn bushes outside. Hawthorn bushes fascinate you, it seems. Hi, Titus. Can I buy you some milk? Do you drink milk? You a manly man with milk mustache?
This is where you say your bit.
You want to see my bits? Oh, say my... Okay. A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective,
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He is leaving it to you. Oh, thanks, Kim. Your trust in me is misplaced, but appreciated. Don't say anything. First, we need to talk about your attitude. We need to talk about that hanged man out back. This is probably what I'd ask. Get to the meat of the matter, but I do kind of want to play it cool. Just stare at him for a while. But that's not really going to get us anywhere. Hey, do you know anything about the corpse?
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
I know, right? That bloating?
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
That is one way of looking at it. I can't really
He
dispute.
was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
I just want to say, before the conversation goes any further, this has taken a very sensuous turn that I was not expecting about the corpse, and you all seem to be in on it, and I'm just wondering, is there something I don't know about this town and corpses that I should know now?
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
You mean life?
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
1 million slaps upon the forehead. I mean, if that was my only pay, I sure wouldn't go in there
You
either.
might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
They're just gonna continue to sexually harass the corpse, you mean? Ah!
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
Oh, thanks, suggestion. Scan the room. Hey, did you do it? We might want to build up to that question. That seems a little quick. Scan the room.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
You just want to stare into my baby... browns? I don't know what my eyes look like. Judging from my portrait photo down there, I guess they're just deep holes of nothingness. You want to stare into my voids, don't you?
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them.
And I'd like to continue. There's nothing he can do to stop me. Scan the room, I
Now
said.
watch the other guys fuck it up by falling out of line.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardy Boys, you fuck with Titus Hardy!
Shouts the scrawny, rat-faced man, 2 teeth missing in the front. How can he be rat-faced if he's missing 2 teeth in the front? That's like the classic, stereotypical way you identify rats. The teeth.
Yes, falling out of line to please him. This is the best kind. And now this guy is going to...
I shudder to think. What is this guy going
Relax,
to?
Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
Says the 40-something man from the corner with a plectrum hanging from his neck. Fan of plectrums, are we? What's that? Is that like a necklace? Maybe a key card? I don't know. Is it a pelvis bone?
Use it to take a dig at his friend. Floodgates open.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Would you like me to seduce
Let
you?
Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
I mind. I'd like to go ahead and get some breakfast before we start in on the... Yeah. You notice gang tattoos. The man must be either Mesk or Saramiresian. I'm still gonna figure out how to pronounce that one distant day. Oh, thank you for the gifted subs. That is so kind. You have given 190 gifted subs in this channel. I'm writing you a ticket. It's too many gifted subs. We're going to have to balance this out somehow. I'm going to buy you a cake, and I will not be wearing clothes with the apron. Never mind, we already went over this.
This one knows how to keep things going. He's a hothead, but not one to be taken lightly. The last one is a bit of a black sheep.
Separate the sheep from the herd, and shear him nude in the cold wind.
Yeah. You're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Fat Angus, you should stay out of it. If you don't have anything new and witty to say, just drink your cocoa.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
Titus presses his end to it. What brings the cop around? I wonder. Kim, any suggestions here, or... No, you're leaving it to me? Fine. I'm gonna drop my pants, because that seems to be where this conversation is going, as sort of a power move, and that'll get the ball back in my court. The metaphorical ball. Let's be
Too
clear.
late. You already got a pretty good picture of these guys. You can use this.
What can I use it for? Other than separating the black sheep from the herd and shearing him nude in the cold wind, what can I use it
You
for?
could take another look at the tracks in the yard. See if they fit with the characters here. It could be incriminating.
I'd love to. I'm not gonna play my hand with the did you do it just yet. I'm gonna take off now, and I'll see you folks and your very distinct boot tread sizes later. Kisses. Alright, to the backyard. To the backyard again. Sort of a child's television joke. If you're in those circles. No, just me? Alright, good. Boot tracks.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
You have now counted the Hardy Boys. Does this match up with the visual calculus of your genius cop brain? I would like to quick save it first, just in case. I have a tendency to have a heart attack when I fail things, so we'll just to be safe.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Wow, still not doing it. You're bad at this.
I know visual calculus. But hey, you know what I'm not bad at? Cheating! You can't keep me away from the answers forever.
left by work. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back
Hooray!
and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right, the Hardy Boys in the mess hall of Whirling in Rags.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Go over them one by one.
1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth. This is the big dick, Titus Hardy.
Oh,
the
yeah,
one
he was
with
a
the bald
huge dick.
cap on his head.
Interesting. And continue counting, I hope? Can we do both? Is there time for both?
Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy. Maybe even too easy.
That's a fair point. Continue counting.
2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck.
It's definitely Plectrum Guy. I can feel it in my... I guess butt?
3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 43. The inked banger, perhaps.
I'm so hungry. I could go for an inked
4.
banger.
Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print.
What else do I see inside the print?
5. Another standard work boot. Reinforced toes. Number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glenn.
You taking notes about all this, Kim? I think we're gonna have to piece it together later in my room over hot toddies, clothing optional.
6. Light as air. Same make of boot, but number 41. Small like a rat. Shanky.
Read that several times, and my brain kept coming back as skanky. And I was like, we can't know that for sure. We can't know that just from his boot tracks. I should have gotten this earlier. It's not really a time to beat yourself up about it, but yeah, keep that in mind. Count the rest.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus. Carrying something?
Couldn't we just all agree to call him Angus moving forward? Would that be okay?
8. Another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardy Boy.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardy Boys were here.
8, actually. Kim, you're not going to tell me I got the best of you, Detective Verily? Help, I've lost it again. I was doing so well with the visual calculus, but then when it came to the vocabulary, I just bottomed out.
That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Note to self. This would be a good question to ask Titus. Where's the 8th man?
Where's the 8th man, Titus? Don't make me threaten you. My nipples are very pointy from the cold, and I will stab you clean through, my friend. Point at the light step, number 41 shoe. Point to the heavy one, 200 kilogram imprint. Point to an aberration, one sole smoother than the other. How old do you think these tracks are? Roughly 8 days, given by how much I've been trashing the hotel room. We'll go in sequence.
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardy Boy. The one with his front teeth missing.
You mean the rat-faced one? No, yes, that's probably... There's no need to insult him further in the backyard, not in front of the
I
children.
could still be wrong, but I'm probably not.
Oh, Kim, you're never wrong. A heavy one.
200. This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man. Maybe it was the fat Hardy Boy, the one sitting in the middle.
Could be, could be. Let's just call him Angus, though, moving
He
forward.
might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
You're right. Angus from the booth was carrying the victim. Or maybe it was a giant. Or it could have just been one extremely large person. I'm not sure. Not jumping to any conclusions. None of these are maybes, except for this one. Maybe it was a giant? But I think the boot prints would look bigger if it was a giant, so I'm just gonna go, I don't know. The other two are too definitive for me.
I do. The fat guy. I think I heard them call him Angus. Most likely to have carried the
That's
victim
right.
over.
But why?
You're thinking, why did they have to carry him?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
Maybe the carrier wanted to impress his peers, demonstrate his physical might.
Could he have been showing off? Maybe the victim refused to walk to his own lynching. Maybe the victim wasn't conscious, or our reading of these prints could be wrong. That's always a possibility. Excuse me. Could he have been?
You mean a display of athletic ability meant to belittle the
Doesn't
victim?
seem likely to me.
The local champion carrying the intruder alone? I can see it. Anyway, the others?
Alright, the aberration. The aberration of smoothness, we'll call it. Look, kid.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardy Boy. Wonder who he is.
Any thoughts at all?
Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer?
Someone who would have cause to smooth out one of their souls. I like it. I like the way you think,
He
Lieutenant.
regrets it the moment he says it.
A drummer! Phew, I'm going to point and laugh at you, Lieutenant. No. So one of the people we're looking for is a drummer? Don't say anything, just nod. I'll just nod. No need to make him explain his thought process. It's a good line
I don't
of
know
thought.
why I said that. We are not looking for a drummer. We are looking for a group
never
of dock
know.
workers.
We could be looking for a drummer.
The lieutenant clearly appreciates the chance to clear up the drummer issue himself.
Could. I will always be here to quietly nod at you. Can't stay long, but you wanted to stop by and say hello and Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope everyone has a lovely day. You as well, and so nice to see you. However briefly. So kind of you to stop by. I hope that it is a lovely rest of the holiday for you and yours.
Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
This is true. I was actually thinking the exact same thing. No, don't take credit for his good ideas. Ah, if only I had come up with that. No, that seems
We
likely.
should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no?
Yes, quite prudent. The lieutenant writes the information down in his notebook, then reverts to the tracks in the mud. How old do you think they are?
A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
How do you know this? How do you know?
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
All right, and what do you think happened, all in all?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree.
Were they doing some sort of ritualistic pagan dance, do you suppose? Would that explain the shuffling?
Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
But what about that dance angle? Should we revisit that?
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
So far, so good. Only one thing missing.
He looks at the tracks, his face lighting up from the realization. Tell me,
Of
Lieutenant.
course, there were 8 tracks, but there are only 7 Hardy Boys.
Let him have his moment.
There's one pair missing from the Union box. The 8th pair. I'm going to say it was our Old Soul.
So, our odd soul was present at the lynching, but isn't in the mess hall right
Yes,
now.
I doubt the Hardys are going to tell us who this person is. For now, it's best if we just keep our eyes open. I'm sure our investigation will eventually lead us to the odd soul.
Especially if they're standing around the traffic jam with their smooth boots. Aha! I'm sure just about everyone standing around the traffic jam would have a similar pattern of smooth boots from being truck drivers, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Kuno, I'm not going to get to the bottom of you, despite what you shouted back here lately. Alright, so I still can't get the body down. It seems like that giant we spoke to at the gates is our best bet for assisting us in getting him down, but in order to procure his assistant, I would probably have to... His assistant? I would have to either give him something or agree with his rather ignorant views, which I'm not super excited about. The only other option is for me to just beg and beg Lieutenant Kim for me to borrow his service pistol. And I'm not sure that that's going to happen, even if he does allow me to borrow his service pistol. I'm quite hungover and unable to aim properly. Alright. Trying to remember which one of these was the one I wanted to keep. I think I was outside my door for it, so I'm going to manual save over our original to have a good solid foundation to return to. So I either have to go convince the giant or just keep taking pot shots at the corpse. I'm not sure which one I find more distasteful, frankly. Let's see if it's even possible for me to try it this way again.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you... This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands... The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt.
Back to being
His
able
torso
to
covered in
ask for the pistol.
tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
But I don't really know which dialogue tree that option was at the end of, or if it has just disappeared and it was a one-time thing. Just in case.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of... This is a steel reinforced...
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get...
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt.
Okay. Seems like I've missed my opportunity to ask him for his pistol. So unless I can find my service weapon, we're not taking target practice again. And that's fine. Alright, quick check on the journal. I'm also still wearing a mesh t-shirt, which I might want to see to before we run into some skill checks. Interrogate the vigilantes back in the whirling find moral, Lena's husband. Ooh, I guess I could check on the radio if they've made any progress tracking down that serial number. It's strange to me that Kim's vehicle disappears during
Inside,
the day.
you see a
and
set of
reappears.
steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Sorry, didn't want to interrupt you, gorgeous narrator. Rather, it disappears during the night, and then reappears during the day. Like, is he parking it somewhere? Because he's staying in the room next to me. None of my business, really.
This is Precinct
Any
57.
luck?
How may I assist you?
I don't really need you to run a serial number as much as I just need an update on the serial number I asked you to run yesterday.
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know. Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
It is tomorrow. Did I, load a save game and erase that bit of progress?
The International Collaboration
I don't know.
Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
I really hope not, because we should be getting this dialogue option by today. I know we did it at one point. I can't recall why we would have erased that progress, but maybe we did.
No, and I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning. Anything else?
It is tomorrow morning, I swear. You've got to believe me, Alice. All right, done for now.
In the cabin, you see a set of...
Strange. Hey, get our boot information eventually. Alright, so this is one of the truck drivers. We could ask him to show us his feet for money. 'Cause that's a pretty normal question to ask. What are our other truck drivery opportunities? My camera angle seems to be a little zoomed in from where it was last time. That's the button for it. Huzzah. Alright, we tried to talk to... what's she called? Pale Rider? She seems to be in her own little world for the moment. Not seeing anyone else to speak with back here. Let's check these folks. Who are not interactable, okay. Let's check this folk.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gates. His voice is the loudest of the lot, and oddly screechy for a man his size. Audio is a little garbled. I'll reset it, thank you. So sorry about that. Let's hope it behaves. Alright, what's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
Thank you for letting me know. The broad-shouldered, so-called alpha male turns to you. He's a full head taller than everybody else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Everywhere I go, everyone's asking me to... I don't understand. No? It's not really my purpose here. Why should I?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Oh, then yes, I'm definitely here to with you. Okay, I'm thinking no. Not yet. Until you give me a reason. Thank you. I'm sorry if that took me way too long to notice out of the corner of my eye.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Right to work! Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Well, that's not true. I'm on no one's side here yet. And when I do take sides, I don't think you're going to be very happy about it. Regardless, I have some questions for you. What kind of causes are we talking about? I don't think I've chosen any sides yet. That's very true. Tell me about your causes.
Rights of people. Rights of workers. To have gainful employment. To make a salary. And feed their families.
I'm a little bit confused. That sounds like the sort of thing the union would be, what's the word? Fighting for? And yet, he wants to break the strike? So he's not, like, on board with the union. Then again, I have not yet spoken to the union leader to find out what they really agree with. I'm just assuming. So this all sounds fairly fair. Fairly fair. Rights of workers, gainful employment, feed them families. Please
His
do.
manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
And with this knowledge, you slowly begin to realize that you are in a video game. I don't think I've chosen any
Might be
sides
time.
yet.
Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the right to work! Right to work!
Regardless, I have some questions for you. Have you seen a nude corpse man, shiny ceramic boots, working it in the backyard?
Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like, why we're not allowed to make a living here. Shame on you!
Right to you! Shame on
We
work!
have families to
Wait, I
feed,
got
you
confused.
Piece of shit.
He points his finger at the man sitting on the railing.
Scab.
Call me Manana. Lovely name for a man. The loitering man hollers in return. I want to get into the harbor too. What is a strike? Who are all these strike breakers? What exactly is your goal here? This is important
We were
information.
promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
You're in the middle of negotiations to increase your pay for when you do get in there to work. From my understanding, and you are unable to breach the entrance? Have you tried breaching? I'm sure this is sort of a foolish question to ask, but
Main
go
gate's
ahead.
locked. Would take heavy ordnance to bust it open. Could try to get in through the secretary's office. Door's locked. The guard's blocking the way to the access panel.
And he is a big boy, I understand.
And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer. Or whatever he is.
His name is Measurehead, if I could just clarify. Have you considered just storming in, like all of you? Just Mwahaha! Have you considered shouting Mwahaha! And just getting in there? Why don't you just talk to them? I'm sure he's also tried that. None of these are great options. I'm gonna ask, wait, head
Huge
measurer?
Seminoles guy standing up there on the overhead passage. Won't let anyone by. The access panel is right behind him.
Aw, how big and muscular could one guy be?
Standing on a narrow bridge, he's got a strategically advantageous position. And he's trained.
In the romantic arts?
I don't know how the Union has a trained killer up there. But that one's no joke, and my men are tired and hungry. They're workers, not fighters.
Why don't you just talk to them? I'm sure we're
Like
beyond that
civilized
point.
folk, you mean? These native fucks don't understand civilized.
That seems like a gross
It
generalization,
would be
but
better
okay.
for the neighborhood if you went home, at least for now, if you can't get in anyway.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Leave the button unguarded. Then we charge.
The man rubs his jaw. A perfect, lightly bearded square wedge. Tell me about it. I want to get into the harbor too. I guess that makes me part of the scab strike. What is a strike? Who are all of these folks?
Honest men and women, with rights, to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
The man runs his hand, or a hand, even through his steadily graying military haircut. They're really trying to get me to fall in love with this guy, aren't they? Like, just so you know, in addition to all the dialogue and politics about the Union strike, he's gorgeous. Just I want to make it really clear.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
Yeah.
I think they follow because I'm big and loud. No,
It's because
they
he's
follow
gorgeous.
the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were given a job to do.
Shame on work. Right on I always get confused. Tell them you're not a scab strike breaker. You're a righteous proletariat band-aid for the union workers. I like it. Okay, I also want to get into the harbor, but I don't think he really needs to know that. I'm just gonna leave now. Thank you for being gorgeous. Speaking with me. Nobody else can be talked to except
Scab?
call me manana. Scab? Me? I know I look quite scabby, but that's because I fell. The man asks, with jolly eyes tilting
You're
his head.
hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
Could you explain to me what exactly is
A
this?
kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Sounds like the sort of person you'd soak for crutchy. Where did they all come from?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
I don't think so. I don't think they're literal worms. Talk to you later. Thank you for streaming. Glad you got to watch a little bit today. Absolutely. So nice to see you there. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Are you mocking my blood clotting condition, you insensitive jerk? Stop pointing out my scabs. You don't seem to like
Gotta
them
be bloody
much.
stupid or freaking evil to scam. Or I guess scared, maybe. But scared of what?
One of
who?
those three. He looks at the mass, squinting his eyes as if trying to ascertain what they're scared
Personally,
of.
I'd rather beg than scam. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
Have you tried talking to them?
We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
The big gorgeous guy, is he perhaps a plant? Is he working with Joyce? Because I don't mean to stereotype, but the rest of these folks seem pretty rough and ready, and this guy is supermodel gorgeous. Like, he's not rough and ready, he's runway ready. So I'm starting to suspect he might be from the richer part of town and planted here to rile up the masses. But that's just sneaking suspicion.
Big guy. He means the leader of the scabs.
Yeah, I'm a scab, poor and downtrodden. Wave your fist. Right to work. Shame on you. I'm a cop. Is the honest truth of it.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab.
His smile deepens his wrinkles even more. You have the strongest urge to push your fingers in.
Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money."
He chuckles and then
Speaking
realizes.
of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
I've come to Martinez investigating a murder. You can probably smell it from here. Hey, you're the man in boots at the gates. Kuno said you know about the armor. Does he indeed? I'm looking for assistance with a dead body situation. You look strong and tall. Could you maybe come with me to the backyard? Got some kids back there. Never mind. I'm a bit short on money right now. Can you give me some of it? I love this as a dialogue option right after he said, I'd rather beg than scab. Oh, he's familiar with the concept. Let's ask. Alright, I've come to investigate
Murder,
a murder.
huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Tell me about it. It's been nothing but trouble. It's actually very fun and easy. I'm 91% sure it'll never get solved. I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe you want to help me solve it by telling me who did it, This seems like fun. This is a fun joke that we'll share, me and this
Of
gentleman.
course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
Ah, I immediately take your word for it. Cross him off the suspect list. Lieutenant. Lost the ability to
Should
speak
we?
there.
He's nice. I don't like nice.
Why
He
not?
didn't do it. It's the truth.
If that came from logic, I would be super happy to cross him off. The fact that it came from drama, it gives me a little pause. Hey, you're the man in boots at the gates. The nice boots.
The little boy had the good on his promise. To
His
get me
promise?
into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
That sounds exactly like what someone who was involved would say. Oh yes, the boy pointed me out because he has it in for me from long ago. And I would be less likely to believe it if I hadn't also been on the wrong end of the Kuno stick, shall we say. So no, we're in this together. I believe
What
you, sir.
happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock.
That is our Kuno.
Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used us to, what, scare you? I mean, I care more about the probe into the armor, but I'm hoping we have time to ask both. Yeah, Kuno? Stay
It's
on
a
Kuno.
minor nuisance. It's all good.
He contemplates taking a swig from his flask. Don't let me stop you. So the probe into the armor. What did you
I
learn?
learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
I've had a similar
What else?
experience.
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
For some reason, my stream preview is not showing me how long I've been streaming. And I'm not sure where it disappeared to. But that's fine. I guess we'll just stop when it feels right. Okay, you have friends at the library. Can you introduce me? I love making friends at the library.
How does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove.
Yes, his feet have become quite swollen
So,
indeed.
as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Oh hey, we're here for this job. Hold up, 4 pieces? Helmet, cuirass, gauntlets, boots? What about the leggings? Was he wearing jeggings, in your estimations? I'm going to find 1 piece of it. 1 is enough. I'm ambitious. I'm going to find all of it. All the pieces. Actually, I may have better things to do. What about the leggings? Were there leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
For a second, I didn't think that was two statements. Forget about them. I did. I thought he was speaking like Yoda. Forget about them, I did. And I was like, what? I'm going to find all of the pieces. I have faith in our team. Me and Kim.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them, and I would leave the boots to processing, but okay. Let's find all of it.
Kim does not have my confidence
It's
in our team.
implied he finds it unlikely that you will succeed in this.
It's fair. I'm used to disappointing
Yes,
everyone.
he's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
Thank you. I hope you have a real bonanza, too. Thank you for the cooperation,
No
sir.
problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
Is that a code phrase for him to kick me in the shins? Sounds
He is
suspicious.
sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Alright, I don't really think he's gonna help me with the dead body situation, but maybe he can convince the giant, too, and he seems easier to talk to, so let's go down
Body
this
still
road.
hanging in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry.
But are you friends with that giant over there?
I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance.
That way makes one of you Union boys. Everyone in the Whirling in Rags dining area was really interested in the body and doing things to it, for some reason. So does this mean you can let me through the
I
gate?
don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
Are you a passer of grantage?
Beneath the jolliness, he suddenly seems doubtful.
Ah, you doubt what you've said. So you are a granter of
If it's
passage.
so simple, why did the scab leader warn you of the guards blocking the way?
That simple? I just walk
Aye.
in.
Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
You're trying to get me punched in the breadbasket, aren't you? I think I met him last night. Kim, you weren't there. Let me
Yeah,
fill you
the
in.
2.5 meter tall Seminese supremacist up there. Walk right past him. Then press the
Right.
button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter
Okay.
the arbor through the office. Está.
So you're saying it's actually quite difficult indeed. You're being sarcastic.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation.
Ah, that seems likely. Look at these guns.
Or you could convert to a Seminese supremacist worldview. Or, maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Has any of the scabs tried converting to his worldview? Probably not. No. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Another thing. Bit short on money right now. I need $1.05 if you can
Sure
spare
thing,
it.
my friend. I can help you out.
Oh no. He flips the coin towards you. Hand-eye coordination. Try to catch the coin. Can I quickly change clothes in the middle of this? No. Inventory access is not a thing. Alright, I mean, we gotta try to catch it. But it's probably gonna go even worse for me if I try to catch it. It's a red check. He will not toss a coin again. It's also quite fair. Can you save it in the middle of dialogue? Nope. Alright. Whatever happens, happens.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
The swallow returns. To the nest? Speaking metaphorically? Thank you. You are a sweetie.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment due to...
Well, yes. The whole sitch.
You know,
I get it.
the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though.
Unions having problems getting by, are they? You know, I could speak to Joyce. She and I have quite the rapport going. I owe her a great deal of money and have no leverage, but oh, the rapport! The rapport of it.
Nothing to worry about, really. The jam's a bit of a mess, cargo can't get in or out. The rationing is a bit stricter is all. Supplies should last the strike, though.
Alright, every little bit helps. Is this thanking him for the coin he already gave me, or is this like, hey, since you gave me one coin, you know every little bit helps? 'Cause I don't want to press my luck here.
I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs.
Okay, what is the strike about
You know,
anyway?
serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
He's got more to tell me. Once I've proven myself a friend of the Union. Understood. Alright, now we can quick save it. Can't believe I caught that coin. It's never gonna happen again. In this playthrough. So, I still don't know how to get onto these roofs. Looks like that billowy jacket over there. And a bunch of coins up here. I really want to get up there. No idea how. More than enough to please a woman. What? Oh, about Measurehead, sure. I thought maybe you were talking about me.
Last we
Clearly
saw,
that couldn't be the
your
case.
race was being superseded by the Seminese.
Come on, I just need you to move about 20 centimeters back. Okay, so I have to just agree with his Seminese supremacist views. Or push him. This is again a bit of a hand tipper. Not quite ready to go that route yet.
We still need to get into the...
I'll be back. So I'm guessing I can't really speak to the boss of the union until after I get in there. So choice again after all that, likely. But until then, we'll be to this side of town. I don't have any bottles or cans to drop off. I do have $19 now. We're getting there. And we could speak to this guy. Seems to be about the only truck driver. I guess there's also the racist. 2 truck drivers we could speak with about the smoothness of their boots. Let's start down here.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
A real white fall, would you say? Hey, could you spare some change for a working stiff? I still want to be able to pass this check. My chances are not super great. I don't want to just ask everyone for money, but I do want to have a place to sleep tonight. Even if you could spare 5 cents, that would mean a lot to me.
Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't know who these bosses think they are, but that sounds like a good arrangement for them, right? Right? Fist bump me. Okay, so you're broke. Got it. What else did I have to ask you? I'm not sure if I really want to continue to undermine his confidence in his career, but yeah.
Dunno. What you need?
Alright. I'm gonna save that one. Though there is definitely something deeper lurking behind his eyes. See if there are any investigative options with this guy.
Looking for something, Rod? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
I sure have. Fuck off again. We're done here. Alright. So unless I peer deeply into his eyes with my sweet orbs, we're not really making any progress with either of the truck drivers. The shopkeeper here in his gorgeous sunglasses, which maybe would help us with our checks. I forget what bonuses they provided. Otherwise, we can't get any further south, seemingly. You there.
Good morning to you, officers.
Man on waterlock, who seems to be skewering a hot dog with a sharp piece of white plastic.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
What are you doing here, man on the waterlock? Do you know what caused this wreckage? Point at the smashed billboard in the canal. First things
My
first.
friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating this salami.
That's Barry's salami. You put that back.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Probably more so for the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
The man on the waterlock picks the skin off a slice of salami and takes a sizable bite. Barry audibly growls. Do you know what caused this
I
wreckage?
wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol.
I don't suppose this happened, roughly a day and a half ago? A sort of drunken cop barreling down the streets, perhaps?
The words, daredevil driver, sound ominous to you.
You stop that. You behave. It's like I am a human Tesla coil. And it's just popping off up in here. but I'm not moving or touching anything. Maybe I just need to carry around a big steel pipe to ground myself. Who
Too
knows?
bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
This is the waterlock on the Martinez Canal. It has to be the same waterlock Lena mentioned, the one her husband crossed on his expedition.
So if I want to find a moral, I have to get past this particular obstacle. You said You said the coast is closed off. This may be why Lena's husband, Moral, the cryptozoologist, hasn't returned. Do you know anything about Lena's husband, Moral, the cryptozoologist?
I haven't seen any cryptologists around here, but sure. If they're on the other side, they're stuck. Like my friend Barry.
Our codes will remain
You
unbroken,
should probably
then.
go tell Lena. Take a load off her mind.
He's not so much dead as he's just trapped on the other side of the canal. It's fine. Rest at ease, Lena. Do you know what's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it.
There's definitely some cool relics in the basement of that bizarro church. I can't wait to get over there.
Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Can I have some of that salami? And then eat it right in front of Barry? Just to make him even sadder and more likely to toss himself in the canal in despair?
Sure thing.
He cuts off a slice of salami. Ow!
Want some too, officer?
He turns to the
Why not?
lieutenant. We're both stealing Barry's salami. The three of us. It's a threesome of salami munching. Wait, that didn't sound right. The lieutenant ponders the offer for a moment, then decides to go for it. He takes a slice of salami from the man and chews on it. Munches, even. Right by.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Fresh salmon and butter. Is there anything better than butter? Pull the lever up just in case. And hear the squeal of metal on metal.
Pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then
A soft clunk, and
nothing
then
happens.
push it harder. Last time I tried to do something hard, I badly hurt myself, so I'm just gonna leave that be.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way.
All right.
Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
I was there. I must have walked right past that sign. Waterlock out of order until Wednesday, 7:15 a.m. What day is it today? Oh boy, would I like to know. Oh well, moving on. So someone's coming to, like, repair it, or... Butter sign down! Like butter side down, but different. Roy's Pawn Shop. Fast cash for faster times. I mean, I don't really have anything to pawn that I don't want to perhaps use for bonuses later, but maybe he's got something sweet for sale for like $2. What do we got here? Some kind of machine. An antique cash register. A bust of a woman, oh my. The plaque simply says, Day. Is this Dolores? In the dark, a film projector is whirring away.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Why do you know who I'm trying to win back, Inland Empire? I haven't remembered that part yet. Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table. If there's one thing that badly treated ladies of drunken policemen enjoy, it's figurines, I guess. And this is a good plan. Win her back.
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy.
Knights on horseback, blue uniforms, figurines in rags. All the rage with the kids these days. 58% chance of digging a truly cool figurine out. Come back to that.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Stand on your tippies.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved.
I must have this. Kim, buy it for me. I'll call
This
you
is
Daddy.
Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, this Stereo 8 approved machine here. Tell me, how much is it? What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy in my police work? Are you sure this is all in working order? Sure, but we'll
Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
I can afford it, but I also cannot afford it. Are you sure it works? It's probably a good question to ask.
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
He grimaces at the very thought of music. Could this device come in handy in my police work? Does it send radio messages?
If police work means playing tapes, sure.
Oh yeah.
You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
I might need to play some tapes in the course of my police work. Let's find some tapes first. Equip this to play tapes. That's all.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Let your gaze pour over it like a thirsty lover.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
AKA, it's the old 80s thing of taking your boombox to the radio and trying to record your favorite song as it comes on the radio. Oh, hell yeah. I can't wait. Maybe someone will be singing a passphrase or something, and I can just sneak up right behind them.
This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Wouldn't it just? A stolen streetlight. Where did you get this? Was there any, let's say, cough cough, criminality involved?
It was brought to me to be altered.
Altered in what
We
way?
are not here to investigate the theft of city property.
Okay, fine. He leans in, saucily, so the pawnbroker doesn't
You have
hear
to
him.
admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Yeah, I'm impressed. How much?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
What a sweet deal. Yeah, I'm not choking on my own poverty right now. That's fine. Are you out of your mind? There's one just like it on every corner. 700 sounds about right. I imagine it wasn't easy sawing off that street lamp. I'll go along with it. I'll make him feel like I'm his friend. I don't know. We could be friends with Bird's Nest Roy. We might be friends. one day.
I don't know where it came from, but it's not every day you get to buy and sell something so extraordinary.
It's gorgeous. Thank you for telling me about it. I'm not going to purchase it today, but I'll be back. I'll be back. Mostly military wear with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in. Show me the fashions.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the counter turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I mean, don't we all? I just want to be alone with my projector watching the movement of light. Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you. It's shameful how insufficient the police presence is in these parts. I don't think the pawn shop guy is really going to care much about that. So now that the RCM is here, tell me, have you had any trouble lately? I'm going to say sorry, because I'm sorry, Kyle.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately. RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake. People who are terminally bored.
People who have 700 real to spend on stolen junk off the streets. Understood.
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Quite the collection indeed. Tell me, do you have any rare items in the back? Typical vacuous consumerist objects, you sicken me. Honestly, I think some of your selections are press your finger to your lips. More tasteful than others. I shouldn't flirt with the pawnbroker. Not at a time like this. This business plan is all over the place. You should specialize, zoom in, recapitalize. Quite the collection indeed, say I.
It keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn once more to the play of light and shadow on the walls behind you. There is something I'd like to sell. Is Roy high? And if yes, what is he on? I do not have the electrochemistry to make such distinctions. You might be able to aid our investigation. By the way, do you happen to have any guns? Like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia? One that I may have lost while crashing my car into the Seminese butter sign 2 nights back? I'm making assumptions here. You might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
You seem strong and tall. Do you think you could help me get a corpse out of it? Do you know anything about that?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for everyone.
I'm sure it's on the other side of the canal.
He doesn't know anything.
Okay, he doesn't know anything. Again, if it was logic telling me this, I'd be more appreciative. I mean, do you think you could help me get a corpse out of a tree? I'd love to not have to talk to the Seminese supremacist.
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform or anything of that sort myself.
But you know someone who
Ask
does?
around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to help.
Yeah, big racist ones. I've been down that route, but thank you anyway. That's all I've got.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
So, has anyone dropped off a RCM service pistol in the last 24 hours?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? I sold my gun for drugs? I wish Kim wasn't here to hear this. His estimation of me is plummeting. Okay, it was definitely me who sold it to you?
And it did feel as if you
damaged my morale.
Oh, God.
Okay. Thanks for
The
your
lieutenant
honesty.
shifts from one foot to another, alert.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Yeah, that sounds like
And
me.
I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
Oh, that's why I pawned it in the first place. Definitely that, and not that I was struggling so bad mentally.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
Don't spare me. I've got the morale yet to damage. Go ahead, be honest.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
Was I, what's the phrase, high as balls?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money.
Again, that sounds like me. I mean, I guess I'm glad I pawned it instead of going through with it, but...
When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel
did you
in
sell
your
it to?
mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Hey, everybody needs a little convincing. This isn't the lowest moment of my life so far, or anything. It's fine. We're fine. So how much did I sell the gun for? I don't think that really matters unless I hid it somewhere in my room. It happens to the best of us, does it? I really should have killed myself. Maybe I still will one of these days. Something to look forward to. I'm so sorry you had to see me in that state. We don't have to talk about it any further. I am sorry, cop, after
No
all.
apologies necessary, officer.
Oh, I assure you, apologies necessary. Who was the buyer?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
I'm looking for somebody terrifying.
Right,
Got
so
it.
let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got it, Kim.
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
There is only one explanation. She must be one of my rabid fans. Nope. Maybe she's a vigilante. Wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can. Could be. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the Citizens Militia? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I sold my gun.
Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow.
Yes.
While also keeping our focus on the murder investigation.
I just got an achievement called the sorriest cop on Earth for apologizing 10, and then it has 3 exclamation points in parentheses. 10 times. Yeah, baby. And we're just getting started. This is only the tip of my apology iceberg.
This mess. He means your mess.
It's kind of him to phrase it the way he did, so do you have any idea where I can find this
My
buyer?
apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
Is there anywhere in town that terrifying people tend to
A
hang out?
needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Yeah, at least now I know how I lost my sidearm. It's good to know. Let's talk about something
Of course.
else. Alright. I guess I have other business to take care of. I love you, Bird's Nest Roy. Be good to yourself. Hey, Kim. Can we talk? I feel like I've let you down. And by feel like I've let you down, I mean I really did bad. I let you down the way Jennifer Coolidge wants a hot dog on July 4th. 9:42. We're making good progress through the day. Let's quick save it again. The sorriest cop on Earth proceeds northward. I don't really have a reason to return to these gentlemen yet. I'm sure I will. In time. Let's try not to fondle their balls. Hey, you okay over there? I make my own way, 'tis all. Always have, always will. Good for you. I'm proud. Proud, I tell you. We could speak to the gentleman in the whirling in rags again, now that we've visually calculized their boot tracks. Huge tracks. Working class woman. You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. Oh, that's a good one, I say, interfering in her peace and quiet. Hello? No ceremonies, just hello. I'm gonna ask if it's a good one. Try to make friendly conversation.
Yes? Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Sorry to interrupt. Who
Me?
are you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
I could see that in the dialogue tree.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much.
Well, I should probably respect
If
that.
she's such
then.
a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working? Shouldn't you mind your own business? What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
Ah, phenomenal. I, too, am looking for something to read. I prefer those big barrel-chested adventure novels. You know, Helmdahl and such.
It is.
So I'm a policeman. Let's cut to
I
the
know
chase
you are.
here. Ah, good. Do you need the help of a policeman to figure out what to read? No? You can rely on your own taste? That makes sense.
What with?
Maybe your husband is a cryptozoologist? There really doesn't seem to be any reason for me to be bothering this poor woman. I'm not going to assume she even has a husband. She's got her books. Why would you need a husband? Continue,
Her
please.
hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
All right. Nice to meet
The
you.
woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Perhaps we will meet again one sunny day. Hey, nice to see you out here. Stay warm. All right. Check down by the river. Seemingly nothing there. So, I suppose the best way to spend the next, let's say, 14 minutes would be to question the gentleman in the whirling in rags again. They feel as though they have a vast upper hand on me, which this morning they definitely did. Now I have some direct evidence tying them to being in the backyard and carrying something heavy. They could have carried something heavy up to the already hanged corpse, and have nothing to do with it whatsoever, but it does seem suspicious. So we have some leads.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
That's my name. Don't honk my nose. The man in the backyard, did you do it? I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where is the 8th Hardly boy? Tell me
What
now.
are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us, and we're all here.
Really? That's the route you're going with? Lying to a policeman? Or maybe you're just foolish and haven't noticed that one of you is an invisible cryptid.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Again, in the vein of, like, since I can't remember what happened, I can't rule myself out as a suspect, should I look at the bottom of my shoes? Are my shoes smooth on the left sole? Am I the 8th Hardly boy? You think they would be treating me a little bit more cordially if that was the case, but something to think about. No, I don't want to be the 8th Hardly boy.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
Does she pretend to be a gardener in her spare time?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End. You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
The lieutenant adjusts his spectacles like a total
There's
badass.
no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
We sure will. One final question. Is she a working class woman, would you say? None of my business, really. Enjoy your tight ass. Quick check-in with the gardener, just in case.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your
Are
time?
you the Hardy girl? It seems rude to ask. I guess I would consider myself quite hardy, yes? Like a fine meal? Yeah, I mean, it's worth asking. I don't want to stir up the hornet's nest here, but it's worth
I am not.
She says dryly. I wish she'd responded a little more moist. But
You
she
could
didn't.
be anything. You could even be a model.
So dry. Aw, that's sweet, Glenn.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
And so could Lieutenant Kim. He's right, you know. You're very pretty. And also you went to law school. And I'm sure, yeah, get a grip, Glenn. I don't know if there's a way to play this that leads to more information from her. But like, yeah, your intelligence. It's probably what she would appreciate? Or I could just stay out of it entirely. Get a grip, Glenn, worries me. If I could just be like, oh yeah, come on, she went to law school, but having to directly address Glenn about it seems to put me at odds with them. And again, them hornets. I'm gonna try it.
So fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people, fuckwad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true also.
No, Glenn, they aren't.
Tone is cold and uninvolved.
This didn't change her opinion of you.
I was so hoping it would. Okay, we
It's
gave it
not
a
her.
shot.
She's not a Hardy girl. Definitely.
Thanks, drama. Okay, we'll talk later. Thank you for your time. This is what I studied law for? I know, right? Okay. I don't know where else to look for a key to that secret passage door back there. But I'm very curious. I do wonder if at some point we should break into that third room upstairs where someone was showering yesterday. Just in case there's loose real on the bed frames. There's probably not. So it really feels like the only way I can make direct progress to speak to the union leader is by getting this gentleman to move. Which I'm not incredibly enthused about, let's call it. But hey.
Last we saw, your race was being superseded by the Seminese.
I just need you to move 20 centimeters back.
It
Do you
is
mind?
my task to keep the degenerate drunks from entering the arbor.
Category I fall into. So probably best that you stand right where you are. I'm gonna push you out of the way, though, with my many, many muscles. Look at me go. Okay, you're right about all of this. I need you to help me get that corpse down from the tree. I don't want to admit that he's right about any sort of supremacist views, how dare you, but I would like to not accuse him of murder in order to get help to get the corpse down. I wish I could ask him if he weighs 200 kilograms. Or whatever it was. But I can't, so I'm gonna play it safer. You're right about all of this. Oh, for sure. The Seminoles. Good job, you guys.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war.
Like against aliens, or we fighting each other? 'Cause I don't want to be involved.
Bring your
in that.
troops to the Seminine Islands and to
What did the
Boogie
aliens
Street,
do?
and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you.
Sounds like a pretty good deal, actually. Oh man, we get to die and there's a museum? I'll take
The
it.
walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
I mean, I have to become a 70th supremacist myself? I don't want to internalize any of Measurehead's race theory. But if that's the only way he's going to move, unless I physically push him, which I will fail again and again to do, he might be out of options. Oh, right. Good idea. Now, wouldn't that mean...
Not as such. What you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist.
It sounds like it's one step below terminal. You serve the Union, don't you? Aren't they white? Do you know anything about this mug? This will put me in his good graces. No, keep the mug to yourself, for goodness sake. Why are you not with the Hardy Boys? That's a good question.
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
It's the first thing you've said that makes sense to me. Their company is spiritually degrading.
You pick up on
right.
something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He is usually more himself.
Aren't you all part of the Union? Camaraderie and such.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Seminoles. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt that. There is more to it, though. I'm not going to leave you to luxuriate until you tell me what it is. Don't you want me to leave you to luxuriate? Let's get through with this.
Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a possibly sexually perverted female vagrant and a narcotics peddler. It's shameful.
Why is the first person that comes to mind Cindy? I don't mean for that to be rude, but is it Cindy?
Find out for yourself. Endomorphic blob.
Okay, I will. The lieutenant takes a quick note. Okay. Conceptualization. Subscribe to his advanced race theory. I have an 83% chance. Or knock him out with an 8% chance. I don't want to subscribe to your advanced race theory. I have things to do. But give it to me, I'll put it in my thought cabinet.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Hey, Measurehead. I'm new to this whole world of racism. Help me understand. I need to know what kind of different races are out there.
Do you?
I do. This is for the thing. I'm gonna reassure Kim as much as
The
possible
lieutenant
here.
looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you. He lets out an audible sigh.
I know. My sigh isn't audible, but it's there, Kim. Don't
You
worry.
are obviously a liberal, Sailite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Tiba, the races. Tibe, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
The vile races, please. Let's start there. This is, great stuff, Measurehead. I'm taking it all down.
I knew you would go straight for the vile cauldron. Everyone does. You need to first learn about Type A and B to appreciate the depravity of the chimeric races.
Yeah,
I'm sure I do,
mean,
Professor.
Otherwise, it just won't make any sense.
Yes, it would seem nonsensical.
Alright. Let's go in order then. Classes in
Those
session.
are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding.
I'm gonna hold you down and fill you full of cheese until you become lactose intolerant, and then we'll see. We'll see if it's a product of
A
inbreeding.
receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
That sounds fun. Sounds like a cool time. You have something against that? Who exactly are the Mon? Or, okay, got it. Who are Type A, then, in your view? Let's just cut to the chase. I don't want to spend too much time diving into his race theory. I just need the bare minimum.
The
Thanks.
Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensity. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem.
He draws his finger across his face, as though to imitate a glandular problem, I guess? I don't know what he means by that.
Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making
no,
them
my
listen
mom is
to
leaking
El
in my brains.
Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
Continue receiving wisdom. Quote unquote.
The
wisdom.
Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls.
He falls silent, contemplating the beauty and the mystery of these skulls.
The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more type A races in the world.
Thank God, I thought you'd never be done. Alright, type B.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Khoikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
The Khoikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description.
I wish we could just keep letting him talk, but sure, I identify Khoikos as white in my official descriptions. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen.
God, I wish I could just push you. Alright,
Pinkness
continue.
is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking Al-Rul and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb, and for eating potato. The Khoiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with that. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
Don't you like ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inner spoilage called demos. The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the Racial Cauldron. Two makes to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Sounds a bit severe, but I guess maybe I'm not sure of the entire tale. There must have been something worse than this revolution.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little off.
It sure does. Oh, go away, stupid political thoughts. So what was this revolution? I don't really want to spend any more time disagreeing with him than I have to. Okay, you're welcome to your beliefs. I'm gonna go now. Please let me past. I've heard about this revolution. Mistakes were made, but it was the right stuff. You're wrong about it. That revolution was perpetrated by degenerate left-wing marauders, not all the people of Revachol. I'm just gonna suppress my political thoughts, thanks. What was this revolution?
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zaraz-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia.
But enough about my Friday nights. Go on.
The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Khoiko to the Occidentals. but not sexually. Probably through trade routes and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant. Enough of type mediocrity.
Okay. Finally. We're almost through. We're almost onto the other side of the swamp of race theory that he's concocted in his giant forehead. Please let me through.
Chips, the F, are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me.
Just because I asked about them first doesn't mean I have some sort of morbid, quasi-sexual interest. I mean, I don't want to worry you. I am curious. Better not to go into it.
It would be cruel to entertain ourselves with their deformities. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on?
Right, I sat through your lecture. I took notes. Can I go now? Will you press the button?
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it.
How do I word the mystery? Second thought, I don't have time to get any deeper into this stuff. Or will you help me get that body down if I do? We better clarify
we will
first.
See.
God, you're not even going to promise me that.
Access to the Union is important for our investigation, but there may be another way in, without becoming a race theoretician.
I mean, yeah, I could push him. Do you mean another way? Tell me, Kim. Tell me now. We'll speak out of earshot of the big man.
Am I mildly worried he might take it seriously? The lieutenant thinks. Yes, I am, he concludes. I am worried.
Oh, Kim thinks I might actually be poisoned by his supremacist views. That's cute. That's cute. I'm hoping I can come back to this, if that turns out to be our only way. If I fail all other checks, I was really hoping just sitting through his lectures would be enough. But yeah, to have to actually, I'm guessing it becomes a thought cabinet thing that you need to mull over. We'll come back around to that if I run out of other options. Thank you.
Lost, though. Buckled away at the last gate. This is why your haplogroup will never rise from the ashes. Now, I need to luxuriate in the private company of my babe. Leave me. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for this...
I can't get back. Can't get back to that line of
What's this?
questioning.
We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
What? That's crazy. This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? Ooh, called out. I'm information gathering. I don't know what's going on yet. But yeah, that's why.
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Really? And what would this be?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How? Oh, I lost the ability to speak. How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally.
Baby
History's
steps.
greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
What about all the things that are wrong right now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality?
Right. Is the kingdom of conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? What is the kingdom of conscience actually like? Seems like a more important question.
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
I love the dialogue options that let you say, "Allons-y!" Sounds incredible. Let's go there right now. That seems fine. I still want to live for the present, though. Up top. Man, that sounds kind of terrible. I don't think I want to be a moralist anymore. I mean, I feel like I don't have a full understanding of it, but from the brief descriptions I've received, that sounds fairly nice. And something that, on the other hand, doesn't require much of me in the here and now. So it's just laziness to think that that's attractive. And I don't want to just take the lazy route. But it does sound good. Is this going to lock me onto some sort of philosophical brain path that I will not be able to break free from? It sounds good. I'm opting in.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Oh, right. We'll get to it. Eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Hell yeah, empathy. Thanks for your thoughts. Speaking of thoughts, where the hell am I with these? I've almost derealized myself. 26 minutes remain of realization, and then we let it all go, spilling into the gutter like so much spilled porridge. 2 hours. Wow, I pronounced that weird. 2 hours. And I would need to unlock another slot to start the Kingdom of Conscience, which I am interested in sussing out more about. What are my skill points? 2. So yeah, I haven't spent any on actual skills. Here's the problem. I've been unlocking all of my thought cabinet slots, which is great. But I could probably, get rid of something. What I don't know is if you forget a skill or a thought, can you immediately re-enable it? Or do you have to spend, 7 hours re-enabling it all over again from scratch? I would kind of think you've spent the time, you can now swap them in and out at will. But why would they even have limited slots if that was the case? There must be some punishment. So I don't know exactly what the consequence is for removing one of these. And I sure would like to. So for the moment, I'm tempted to just unlock another one. But am I screwing myself on the skill tree? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see later if I've screwed myself. Start thinking about the Kingdom of Conscience. Internalize. -2 to half-light. That's only temporary while I'm researching it. Let's see what comes. What is half-light? It's now at a 0. Let the body take control. Threaten people. Oh yeah, it's calmed me down significantly. I'll take that. Okay, I still have my emergency skill point. I'd better not spend it. I've accepted a whole lot of Seminese supremacist information from Muscle Boy over there. But I have neglected to internalize it just yet. Like water off of a cute little duck's back, go I. And Kim seems to be... Please go down the stairs. Oh, I'll pay you. I'll pay you so much. Kim seems to think there's another way back there, which I'm very curious.
Yes?
What would this be? I got a plus on that from Bird's Nest Roy at the pawn shop, mentioning my gently suckling at the teat of gunpowder. Sorry I phrased it that way, Lieutenant. I'm sorry. So the only thing I'm curious about is there's so much roof space lingering that I kind of feel like there must be a parkour way to get up there. Is there anything I missed back in the backyard that would allow me up onto these roofs? There's a woman on the roof of the Whirling and some doors leading to the outside. And yet, I have never seen a set of stairs up to that area. Maybe it's behind the secret passage. So it's like, this is all blocked. I can't get into this debris. Did we try yanking these
An
down?
inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
42% chance. That's not a great chance. And I need to increase my perception to try it again. Make sure we have a solid base to go back to. Anything in my inventory that increases perception? Question mark. Nope. Anything that limits it? Ah, it contains 2 bottles. I was reading that plastic bag description and I was like, can it only contain 2 bottles? Have I been wasting all the bottles I picked up? No, it currently contains. Alright, nothing seems to be limiting my perception, so I'm at my best possible chances right now. God, what a depressing thought that is. Perception. Where are you? There you are. See, hear, and smell everything. Cinnamon buns. It's not great. But I don't have a way to change that, so let's try at
Inconspicuous
40s.
pile of the roofing material, eaten, because it's nice and orderly. Well-laid pallets, rhythmic pattern, calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff.
That's nice. Thank you for remoralizing me, conceptualization.
No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling.
What's the
Hard
feeling?
to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. Especially the small ones.
I'm sure they do. So, my thought is, maybe if we can get there, we can get onto the roof. And then find like a doorway that leads us back into that without having to internalize supremacist views in my already unstable mind. That sure would be nice. I sure would appreciate that. So it's a solid option. It is now 10:20 on day 2. I have no idea what day of the week it is, which worries me somewhat. Nor do I know of any way to find out. Let's go ahead and unlock this. Try again. But we really need like a pair of sunglasses that increases perception or something. So, if I can figure out what day of the week it is, on day 2, we will know how long we need to wait until Wednesday when perhaps the bridge is fixed to get across and look for Lena, the cryptozoologist's wife's husband. That's not the way to say it. Lena, the cryptozoologist's husband. And there's probably some more goodies and bottles and cash over there. Also, I don't know of any other real leads we have beyond trying to get back there. But once we get back there, we should be able to speak to the Union leader, and then we should be able to work something out between him and Joyce. I'm hoping. Until then, oh, Kuno, get off my screen. Get off my screen with your language and such. Ew. We also have tons of, like, case files we still need to go through. We've probably got, like, 3 hours worth of time we could just spend remembering our case files. We have thoughts, mid-thunk, which are coming due pretty soon. So, I will leave us here for now. We'll continue to mull over the Kingdom of Conscience. Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your worry-worn forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. The ideals of DeLorean humanism are reinstating themselves. How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Sorry, the button was in the way. These guys, those guys, are signal blue, and they're not only good, they're also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? So mysterious. I can't wait. We will continue to thunk, and I will see you soonish. Thank you for spending a bit of your holiday with me. I'm incredibly grateful for your time, your company, and I will see you soonish.